How you guys doing? Welcome back to the Rich Sports Report. It's your boy Cozy Rich. It's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks since we've done this report. I apologize for, leaving my fans hanging. 2 weeks ago, went to a concert. Last week, we weren't able to get into the studio, so we're back. We're going to switch up the way we do things usually here on the Rich Sports Report. We're not going to, give you scores or give you predictions. There's 4 sports playing right now. We got the MLB, we got the NHL, we got the NFL, and we got the NBA all playing at the same time. There's a lot to cover. Don't got time to go into the scores and predictions. So we gonna jump right into this bitch and get started. I wanna talk about, the sports I don't care much about, but people do care about, and that's the MLB and NHL. Well, NHL season just, started. Boston Bruins, I'm a Bruins fan. I hope they do their thing this year, win another Stanley Cup, but that's all I'm going to say for hockey. As for MLB, however, the Red Sox lost to the Astros last week. Therefore, that means the Astros are going to the World Series to play the Atlanta Braves. So it's Houston versus Atlanta in the World Series. Houston, I feel like, is in the World Series every single year, even after being caught for cheating. So with that public eye on them after their cheating scandal and they're still able to make it to the World Series, I think that team is kind of a juggernaut at this point. So I think the Astros are going to win the World Series in 6 games, but that is to be determined. I'm just going based off history, and I think the Astros got that. With that being said, let's jump right into the crux of this thing. I want to talk about the Patriots. Patriots did their thing versus the Jets this week. We won 53-14. I didn't know we could put up 53 points with the offense we had. Clearly we're doing better than I thought. We're currently 3-4. Mac Jones is getting better. The defense is getting solidified. Our receivers are producing, and Damian Harris is balling his ass off with 3 straight weeks with a touchdown. With that being said, I think Pats have a good chance to make the playoffs. The AFC East is very competitive. Well, not really. It's pretty wide open with Buffalo at a 4-2 record, Patriots at the 3-4, and the Dolphins and Jets both at 1-5. With that being said, I don't think we'll win the AFC East with Buffalo being there, but I can see us getting a wild card spot, which, with the way things have been going the last 2 years, I would take as a win for this season. But I want to also talk about, Tom Brady. Mr. Thomas Edward Brady throwing his 600th NFL pass. The fan that caught that football fucked up. You want to know why? Because Thomas Edward Brady said he would have basically given that man anything for the 600th touchdown ball. But he got 2 signed jerseys, a signed helmet, $1,000 in memorabilia or credit to the team store, 2 season tickets for this year and next year, and 1 Bitcoin. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like enough, especially when it's going to Thomas Edward Brady. That man got bands for days. His wife is a supermodel. Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't hurting for money. I would have, extorted the shit out of that man, but hey, to each their own. With that being said, I want to talk about the Chiefs as well. They got that ass whooped last week, 27-3 by the Titans. And Chiefs are currently 3-4. And that's with, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid lighting up the NFL the last 3 or 4 years, making it to the AFC Championship and Super Bowl in all those years. And this year, they've completely dropped off the face of the earth. I love it personally, being a New England fan. People calling Patrick Mahomes the next GOAT. That shit out of here. He ain't Tom Brady, never will be Tom Brady, he ain't even close to Tom Brady. Let's get that straight. The Chiefs, their offense is stalling. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the pass. I don't know what they're going to do this year. Patrick Mahomes is playing inconsistent, and he's not taking care of the ball. With that being said, I think this season is just, a loss for them, especially with the way the AFC West is looking, with the Raiders being 4-2. As well as the Chargers being 4-2. Kansas City got a lot of work to do to cover that distance. But with that being said, it is what it is. I have no faith in them this year. I did have them making it to the AFC Championship, but we'll see what happens the rest of the year. They're looking pretty bad right now. Also, I want to talk about 3 teams from each conference in the NFL, which is just balling right now. The Packers, the Cardinals, Tampa Bay, as well as LA Rams are balling in the NFC. Those teams, I think, are the best 4 teams in the NFC. They just keep rolling every single week. I think each team only has one loss under their belt, with the Cardinals not having any losses, being at 7-0. They're looking magnificent. Tampa Bay's looking great. I think this is going to shape up to be a great season, end of the year finish, especially in the playoffs with the way the teams are looking. And I want to bounce over to the AFC as well, because they got the Bengals, the Titans, and the Bills as the top three for us, for the AFC. And those teams are doing the same thing. They're well-balanced teams. They can pass, run, defend. Special teams are very good. They got great coaching staffs. They got reliable quarterbacks. I really like this NFL season, even though the Patriots aren't really the main focus and Tom Brady isn't really the main focus, being a New England fan. I really love this NFL season, and I'm happy to see what the end of the year looks like. And by the way, people, don't sleep on the Cowboys. I'm actually surprised I'm saying that, because they shit the bed every single year. They do something to make you believe they're going to fuck up. They haven't done that just yet. Dak Prescott has been pissing. Their receiving core is fire. Dallas is nice too, so don't sleep on Dallas. But with that being said, that's enough for the NFL. Let's jump right into the NBA, get into my favorite sport. Ben Simmons returned to the Philadelphia 76ers, people. I know last couple weeks before this update that I was always telling you that Ben Simmons holding out. Well, he finally reported he was tired of losing his money. He was losing $348,000 a game he missed. He reported, and he has yet to play a game. So we just, he showed up to get those checks in and gave an excuse talking about, I just don't feel ready to play right now. So that's his situation. Just wanted to give you an update on that. As well as the fact that Steph Curry and the Warriors are balling, people. They are 3-0. 3-0. A lot of people wrote them off to start the season. No Clay. Same team as last year, really. Just a bunch of veterans, a bunch of rookies on the team. But Steph has been balling. The team is looking great. They're hitting threes. They're playing defense. There's a lot of ball movement. Jordan Poole has stepped it up tremendously this year. His third-year rise is just crazy. And when they add James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, as well as Klay Thompson in the middle of the year, I really think this team can make it to the finals. That's how I feel about the Warriors. They're looking real good right now, and I wouldn't count them out in any game, especially with that man, Stephen Wardell Curry. That man is balling. MVP favorite right now for this year. I also wanted to talk about the Lakers. I don't know about them. They added Russell Westbrook in the offseason, as well as Dwight Howard, Kendrick Nunn, a bunch of other people. Carmelo Anthony, which, he dropped 28 their last game. I still don't know if, this team is enough to win a title, the way I've been seeing them play over the last couple games. I know it's early in the season, and LeBron teams usually don't start off fast, especially when they're newly assembled like the way this team is. But it's different. LeBron is older. I don't have as much faith in Anthony Davis anymore because he's injury-ridden, and I can't believe that he's going to be healthy for a whole season, let alone a playoff run. And there's just not as much chemistry. Russell Westbrook needs the ball. He's very inefficient. He's a bad shooter, and he's a point guard, and he's getting paid $30 million a year. I don't know how you're going to compensate for that throughout the season. The Lakers are 1-2. I just don't know. I know they'll make the playoffs. I just don't see them going pretty far. I think they lose in the Western Conference semifinals, but that is to be seen. Now let's talk about the Nets. Kyrie Irving. That man Kyrie Irving said, fuck the coronavirus vaccine. He said, fuck basketball. I'm taking this check and I'm sitting out this year. For all y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, Kyrie Irving was basically banned by the Brooklyn Nets this year for all games because he has refused to get the COVID vaccine. So he's not allowed to be near the team until he gets vaccinated. That means he cannot get paid for half of the games. So he's just he's losing $16 million this year, but he's also collecting $16 million. I don't know what kind of point he's making because ordinary people don't have the luxury he has to sit out and still get paid. I don't know what kind of point he's making, but his team is looking kind of shaky right now. They won last night versus the Washington Wizards, but they better have won that game. The Wizards are trash compared to the Nets. They got KD and Harden. But I don't know if that's going to be enough this year. They might need Kyrie because the bench is playing inconsistently. They don't have that much size, as well as the fact that Harden needs his foul calls. It's looking like to be the Harden we know. This man already has his coach Steve Nash crying to the refs, the league, complaining about the rule changes, talking about how Harden needs his foul calls and etc. I think this might be the end of James Harden. Controversial take. We'll see. And lastly, I just want to talk about the Bulls. Bulls are looking really good. They added DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, as well as, the White Mamba, Alex Caruso this summer. And they've been balling. They're 4-0 right now. They're hitting on all cylinders. They dunking all over teams. They running all over teams. They defending. They shooting. I love the way this team looks. They're tough. They're grimy. They stick it out, and they work together. I really feel good about this Bulls teams, and I can't wait to see what they do for the rest of this season. But before I end this report, I want to touch base real quick with my Celtics. They looking okay, kind of shaky this year. Dennis Schroeder needs to pick it up. But I just want to mention Jaylen Brown.
And Bridges has had his fair share of dunks, but Jaylen Brown says, take that with you, Miles Bridges. Whoa.
Jaylen motherfucking Brown is that man. He is that man. He is going to average 30 points a game this year. He has taken another leap after the 46-point eruption versus the Knicks in double OT. He has kept producing. He dropped 30 last game. The sky's the limit for this man. We already know what Jason Tatum's going to do, but Jaylen Brown, he keeps taking jumps, and if he makes another jump, sky's the limit for the Celtics. But with that being said, that's kind of all I got for you guys. It's been a good week. I can't wait to see what happens this week and bring it to you next week, but it's been a good Rich Sports Report, and I'm going to catch y'all next week. Love.